Hey guys, it's me, Stormie, and tonight we are going to talk about the decans or the decans. It just depends on how you see it and what they are and what they mean and the huge impact they have on your chart and understanding how to uncover some of these energies and this information. You know, the thing to remember is that astrology is not just your sun sign or your planet placement. It's not just that. There's layers and layers. It's nuance, it's complexity, it's patterns in astrology, and learning to follow each of those is how you get deeper into the chart as opposed to just saying, you know, I'm a Virgo. Well, yes, you may be a Virgo, but what kind of Virgo are you? This is the stuff that really makes your chart and your understanding of your own personal self really, really unique. So now before we can really jump in and talk about the decans, what we need to discuss are the triplicities. Okay, you've got to know these, have these memorized, maybe on a card someplace or whatever, but you need to know not only what the triplicities are, but then who the rulers of the triplicities are, because that's a big factor when we look at the decans. Now, a triplicity is just a very sexy way of saying the threes, the triples, you know, and it's about elements when we talk about triplicities. So if you're not sure about the elements for these different signs, click on over to Astrology 101. It's one of the videos in my playlist, and I tell you all about the signs that fall under different elements. But as you know, we have 4 different elements, each having 3 signs in it. So we have 3 fire signs, we have 3 earth signs, we have 3 air signs, we have 3 water signs, okay? So you've got to know those to be able to really understand what's happening when we look at the decan. Now the decan, you can tell what yours is because it's that little number that has a degree next to whatever your sign or planet placement is. And it'll tell you exactly what you are right there in those degrees based on your birth chart. So why this is so important is because we try to separate some of these qualities by using this numerical representation to tell us what else is in your sign, what else is in this little sliver of your chart. So here's a couple things to remember, first of all, when we're looking at a decan. The first thing is that decans are the numerical representation, okay? Decans are categorized by triplicities, okay? The other thing to remember about a decan is that it's helping to separate qualities. Your decans will always go in the order of the signs that you find them in the zodiac. So for example, let's say that you are an Aries, okay? And we're looking at a specific numerical placement for your decan. If it is at a certain number, you're going to be maybe just not just an Aries, but maybe you'll be an Aries Leo decan. It just depends. And maybe you'll be an Aries Sagittarius. Do you see what I mean? It's always going to go in the order that you find them in the zodiac. So let's say you're a Leo. You could be just a Leo. Or maybe if you're not, if it has a certain placement, you'll be a Leo Sagittarius. Or maybe you'll be a Leo Aries. It's always going in order of how you find them in the zodiac. So keep that in mind as well. All right. So now when you're looking at your chart, and you're looking at the one little sliver for like your sun sign right there, okay? The time where you were born. The decans, we try and separate these qualities by splitting them into thirds, okay? This is going to be some awful artwork. Just roll with me. Okay, and each of those thirds is separated, is done in 10 degrees. So the first one is going to be 0 to 10, okay? The second one, you've got 10 to 20. And the last one, you've got 20 to 30. And so for the sake of our example, you know, at this particular moment, we are going to talk about Aries. So let's say you are an Aries rising or an Aries sun sign, okay? So when we're looking at your decan, you'll know it by looking on your chart. It'll give you that number, okay? So when you're looking at this one little sliver, you're an Aries sun sign, but let's say you're an Aries who is like 3 degrees, okay? If you're an Aries at 3 degrees, you are a true Aries. You are an Aries, you are ruled by Mars as your solid planet, right? And you're going to have so many Aries qualities. You may be exactly what astrologers and other sites write about when you type in Aries zodiac, okay? Very true to that. Now, let's say you are an Aries who was born at 13 degrees, okay? So then you're going to be an Aries, but your decan of 13 tells us that you are an Aries Leo. So now let's talk about how that works for a second. So Leo is ruled by the sun. So now you become not just an Aries who is ruled by Mars, but you become an Aries who is ruled by Mars with a co-ruler of the sun. So you'll have so many of those qualities, or they might even be a slight loving underflushing that comes out in your personality. So you'll get to see though how that becomes a different kind of Aries, right? It's not just this full unadulterated Mars energy. It becomes something a little bit different. Now, what's cool about this is that you can use this on any of your placements. Absolutely any of your placements, whether it be your planets or whether it be, whatever you got going on that you're trying to look at, you can take a decan and take it into that. So for example, I want to show you this really quick too, in case you don't think in terms of looking at the slice of the chart wheel. I made it straight for you too real quick so you can see. So if you were to take, each of the zodiac signs, because each of the zodiac signs each have 3 triplicities in them, and they are of the same other element as the sign it's in. So if it's an earth sign, it's going to be all earth signs in their triplicity or in their decan, okay? So that's just kind of a quick little breakdown. Now, if you wanted to look at, let's say, a different sign placement, okay? So, and I love this example, it's probably my favorite one, but let's just say that you have your Venus in Virgo, okay? So you have your Venus in Virgo, it's at 13 degrees, okay? You with me still? So what does that tell us? That tells us you're not just a solid Virgo, right? You got to move to the next triplicity. So now you have your Venus in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so we have our planet right there that's also putting in some influence, right? Now, because you have to go to the next triplicity based on that 13, you're going to be a Virgo Capricorn. Did you follow me? If you didn't, it's okay. I'm going to put this in writing as well. So now you see that you have the influence of 2 different planets also working with your Venus, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So now you have a Mercury-Saturn combination, and it's with that planet of Venus that's about love and romance and money. So what we start to be able to tell and unravel about you is that when it comes to money, you're probably very savvy. You're probably brilliant minded about it. Mercury is incredibly business savvy, and Saturn is very mature minded about it. When it comes to love, you might be very logical. You might be very conservative, because you're going to have that Saturn influence with that Capricorn decan, and so you'll care a lot about what people think, maybe even just appearances. So you see how that becomes way different than just I have my Venus in Virgo, so I'm just practical and I'm just, down to earth and meticulous, right? This becomes a different kind of breed of information about who you are. And what's great about this next level of understanding what this means is it lets us delve into you. It gets into your psyche. We get to see more about how you may be moving and grooving through the world, and also helps us identify some issues that you may have as you're going through your lifetime, and how an astrologer can help you mitigate the risks of having so many issues. So it's layer upon layer of information. I hope that this video explained a little bit to you. I've got some stuff going up on the sidebar so you can hopefully remember a few of those things. I am also doing a blog posting as well, just in case you need to go back, see it in print, read it over and over again. And the blog will also have in it the guide for how you can tell, you know, between this degree and this degree, it's this sign. So it's going to have a full map for you guys. Down below, I'll put the link so that you can follow that. And definitely, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video very, very soon.